Welcome back to Boundaries and Boss Moves, where we talk about building a business that works for your life and not the other way around. I'm your host, Louisa Marie, and today we're diving into a topic that's especially important if you're looking for more time, less chaos, and better support in your system. And that is how to know when a VA is the right VA. Because hiring anyone just to take tasks off your plate isn't enough. You actually need someone who aligns with your vision, who aligns with your values and your way of doing business. So let's talk about what to look for before you bring someone on board. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who are already deep in the hustle, knees deep. They can barely breathe. They're overwhelmed, stretched thin, and desperate to delegate. But they don't even know where to start. And honestly, some of them have some horrible stories of getting started and it going sideways. For some of you, this sounds very familiar. I've been there too. And one of the biggest mistakes I did early on was hiring out of desperation. And I felt like a lot of us have been there, a lot of us are there, or a lot of us are heading there. You're hiring out of desperation, or you're gonna hire out of desperation instead of strategy. At the time, I thought if I could just get anyone to help me, I'd be free to be more on top of things and do what I need to do as a CEO. Spoiler alert, let me tell you, boy, was I wrong. And I learned this lesson the hard way. Desperation is not a strategy. It never will be a strategy, and you can make a lot of mistakes doing things out of desperation. In fact, hiring out of desperation more often than not causes more work, not less. Because not only do you have to train said person, you also end up having to check what they've done, having to have these conversations. And if you're not a confrontational person, they can be very difficult and very awkward conversations to get them to correct their mistakes. And don't even get me started on the emotional and mental strain you go through when you hire someone. You are literally entrusting your baby to someone. Literally. If you started your business, you know how precious that business is for you. And I trust that if you're listening to this podcast, you're an entrepreneur. When you hire someone, you are entrusting your baby to someone, and they have the opportunity to mess up big time. They have the opportunity to cost you big money. They have the opportunity to get you sued. They have the opportunity to really ruin your business, whether you see it that way or not, because they're in your business, they're in your systems. You give them passwords. Yeah, you do. This is why you have to approach this decision of hiring a VA with clarity and strategy, not desperation. Desperation will cost you. I cannot emphasize this enough. So today, I want to help you approach this decision with clarity, not by highlighting the red flags, because let's be honest, when we're desperate, we're not looking for red flags. Those red flags are long gone. How many mistakes have you made? And then we go back and we look, we're like, oh my gosh, we are so dumb. But we're not paying attention to the red flags. I want to highlight the green flags in hopes that something will click in your brain when you're on a discovery call with a potential VA or a potential hire in general. I want to highlight the good things to look for when hiring a VA. You can also find this information on my blog. I have a blog on my website. I am extremely passionate about getting this information out. You can find my blog at www.adminvirtuosa.com under the blog tab. Let's dive into 5 green flags to look for when hiring a VA. Green flag number 1, they ask thoughtful questions. I know personally that there are people out there who hate when people ask questions. I too was like that, to be honest. I'm like, this is a stupid question. Why would you ask me this? And to be honest, there are some stupid questions. But when it comes to someone trying to understand you, I don't believe that there's a such thing as a stupid question. And this is where you have to put your ego sometimes and be patient. A great VA is not just trying to impress you. Anyone can do that. They're actually trying to understand you. When someone asks clear and intentional questions about your workflow, expectations, and communication style, it shows that they're thinking beyond the task and into your bigger picture. Because essentially, there's a bigger picture for your business, which is why you're trying to delegate. Think of it this way. Have you ever been suckered by someone's charm? Let's say on a date? Yeah, I'm gonna go there. I am gonna totally go there. You go on a date with this person, and this person sounds so lovely. You've gone on multiple dates, they've impressed you, oh my gosh, this person can do nothing wrong. And then you start a committed relationship with said person. And then a few weeks, maybe a few months into the relationship, you're seriously like, what the heck did I just get myself into? Yeah, and some of you are probably laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is very similar to how a VA can charm you. And I know this firsthand because it's happened to me multiple times where you get this wonderful proposal, which AI can help a lot with that. And then you go on a discovery call and guess what? They've practiced what they're gonna say. They've got coaches tell them exactly what to say. And then you hire them and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is not what I signed up for. They have no idea what I'm about. So when you hop on a discovery call, keep this in mind. If they don't ask thoughtful questions about you and your business, they're not thinking beyond a task list. They're probably just reading off a script, to be honest. And I've had that before where VAs are literally reading off a script. Green flag number 2, they're honest about their strengths and limits. This is a big one. You're not looking for someone who can do everything. You're looking for someone who knows what they're great at and owns it. Now, I know a lot of you think, oh my gosh, I want a VA, jack of all trades, unicorn that can do all the things. And let me tell you, I have another blog on my website that talks about the unicorn VA myth. Unicorns don't exist. Even my 7-year-old kid knows that. So you want someone who can own their strengths and limits. If they can tell you honestly, hey, this isn't my zone of genius, but here's what I can do. You found a professional, someone who's experienced at what they do. And that kind of honesty, it actually saves everyone time, money, and stress. Now, there's not always the opportunity right there for them to say, well, this isn't in my zone of genius. This is where you ask them, hey, what are some of your weaknesses? What is something that you hate? And if they tell you they don't hate anything about their job, let me tell you, run. Don't even jog, run, because everyone hates something about their job. I mean, I love what I do, and there's certain things that I hate doing, and this is where I have a team who does it. So you want someone who's going to be honest about their strengths and limitations. Green flag number 3, they want to actually understand your business. The right VA won't just ask, hey, what do you want me to do? They'll ask, hey, what are your goals? How does this job support you in the goals? How does this discovery call, how does myself as a person, how can I help you support your goals? That shift tells you that they're thinking like a partner, not just a helper. Now, if you just want a helper you want to baby them, handhold them 24/7, have at it. This is not for you. But if you want a VA who's a leader, this is for you. Again, think about this date analogy. Imagine going on a date with someone and they don't even know what your goal is. Is this a long-term relationship? Is it a fling? Is it a booty call? Like, these questions need to be answered. And you can ask these questions as well. Ask the VA, what are your long-term goals? Is this a fling? If you want a long-term VA, you might as well ask them where they're going. Get it out the way so that you are not stuck with a VA who's not aligned with your long-term goals. Green flag number 4, they set expectations and boundaries. Boundaries are crucial, especially with the VA and CEO relationship. In any relationship, as a matter of fact, boundaries are crucial. If your VA comes and tells you how they work, what tools they use, and how they prefer to communicate, that is a green flag, not a red flag. And some of us, we can get very defensive and egotistical. Oh, I want this done my way. How dare this person do this? No, you have to keep in mind, if you hire a virtual assistant, they are an independent contractor. They're not an employee. More often than not, they own their business. They have their own systems in place. So you got to put your ego to the side and understand where they're coming from. You want someone who is clear, who is organized, and not afraid to lead their part of the relationship. And yes, this is a relationship. A VA, CEO, business owner, operation manager relationship. It's a relationship, and it takes two to tango. I'm responsible for my part of the relationship, and so are you. And in order for that to work, we both have to have boundaries. Now, with that said, don't get me wrong. There should be some flexibility. If you've got some systems in place that there's some things that you don't really align with you, then you should be free to speak about that, speak on that with the VA. And it's up to their discretion to decide if they're going to honor that or if you have to find someone else. And if you have to find someone else, it is much better to deal with it early on than to hire someone and then realize they are not going to work. All right, green flag number 5, and the final green flag. They have a plan for when life happens. Let's be real. Sick days happen, tech issues happen, emergency happens. And there's nothing worse than being in the middle of a launch and then your VA, something happens, they don't show up, they don't communicate, and then you're screwed essentially. And then they come with a million excuses. Oh, I wasn't feeling good. And you're like, respectfully, why couldn't you tell me that? Why does that have to do with me? And you try not to be heartless about it because, hey, you had a launch going. You had something going on and they cost you a bunch of money, right? You don't want to hear the excuses. So a good VA will have a plan B. A quality VA will not ghost you. If they are sick, if they have an appointment, first of all, appointments usually you have notice with it. In some cases, it just pops up. But a good VA will give you notice. Let you know ahead of time, hey, just so you know, I'm not feeling too good. They communicate and they have a plan B and they take responsibility. That level of responsibility is worth gold, let me tell you. And it is a rare thing. It is so rare. And I have interviewed so many virtual assistants, and it's such a rare quality. And these are questions you can ask them. Like, hey, what happens if you get sick? What do you do? These are questions you can ask. And just be ready to listen to the green flags. If you're nodding along and you're thinking, yeah, this sounds great, but I am way too deep in the weeds to even think about hiring. I can't do this. I'm desperate. Whatever the situation is, if you are liking what I'm saying, you're just like, I don't think I can pull this off. You're not alone. And here is the good news. Here is the good news. You don't have to figure this out on your own. You don't. At Admin Virtuosa, I have done the heavy lifting. I've mentioned it before. I have interviewed so many virtual assistants. I've sourced, I've vetted, and I've trained some of the most incredible virtual assistants there is. I kid you not. I love every single virtual assistant on my team. I know what makes a great virtual assistant. They know what makes a great virtual assistant. And I have built a team of them. I have done the legwork for you. I have handpicked a team of virtual assistants who meets these green flags and then some. Like, I have been amazed at the level of professionalism from every single virtual assistant on my team. And I am very, very picky on who I let on my team, which is why I don't have this massive agency with hundreds of virtual assistants, because I personally handpicked them myself. Every virtual assistant on my team is a reflection of my work and what I do. And we have a personal relationship. They are trained, they are vetted, and they are ready to support your business in a way that actually helps you grow and breathe. The results that I have seen from business owner after business owner that has had the honor of working with us and my virtual assistants have been amazing. So if you are ready to hire a virtual assistant that you can trust, someone who will actually lighten your load and elevate your business, your operations, your life, I want you to head over to my website, www.adminvirtuosa.com. So it's adminvirtuous with an A at the end.com. And check out our services. Alternatively, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you can send me a DM. I want to make this as easy as possible for you. If you are listening to this podcast and you're like, my friend needs to listen to this, I want you to send this to them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pick it up a notch because I want you to see how easy I'm going to make this for you. You don't want to go on my website. You don't want to DM me on LinkedIn because you don't follow me. Here is my phone number. You can text me 604-908-4805. You can send me a text and say, hey, I just listened to your podcast and I want to talk to you about what it's like to hire a VA, what it's like to work with you and your team. And I will be more than happy to walk you through that. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with 3 questions. 3 questions that I want you to really think about and maybe jot down the answers somewhere. Or what would be possible if you weren't the one doing it all? What would be possible? Seriously, what ideas could you bring to life? What goals could you actually finally act on if you had the right support behind you? These are questions I've had to sit with. And I have doubled the size of my business because I got the right support. Hiring a VA isn't just about offloading tasks. It's about creating capacity for the things that matter. How are you going to grow your business if you're stuck in the weeds? You need to step into your visionary role. Question number 2 and 3 is kind of a tie-in. What is something on your plate that someone else could be doing? And what would shift if you let that go? What is it? For me, it was stepping into my consulting role. I don't know what it is for you. I'd love to hear it. That's all for now. I hope that you sense the passion and the urgency in what I want for you. I want this so bad for you. So thanks for tuning in to Boundaries and Boss Moves. Until next time, and until then, take care of your business and take care of yourself.